we got a great show. This is Address the Culture. I'm your man, Pstock, and the show keeps going. We have a usual face with us that everybody recognizes. You know, we have GM Darren DeBon in the house. We have a great interview to guest tonight. I mean, where should I begin? You know, it's like an American hero, you know, in a sense, you know, coming up, you know, 5-time world champion, you know, fought professionally right up until 60, probably more, you know, probably still fight today. You don't want to run into him in no place like that, but, you know, great history in the martial arts to go along with the series that we've been running, you know, and he comes out of Brooklyn, New York, you know, which the East Coast, where we've been covering a lot of the West Coast, and it's great, you know, to tap in the East Coast side, you know, where I came up, you know, and you know, some of the back in the day with the big international tournaments, you know, you hear the name and you see him, you just was happy, you know, that hey, Ron Van Clief won again. You know, we feel like we all won, you know, at that time. So it's great. And he's here, and it's a lot to the culture, you know, and we're going to talk about it tonight. But, you know, and this is, you know, what the platform is about. We're addressing the culture, and he's so much more. He's an actor, you know, stuntman, and who knows? There's so much that he probably does or have done that we're going to talk about. But we're going to get into it. We're going to bring in Grandmaster Darren DeBon. You know, he's our guide and everything to come in. So we're going to tap in with Darren. Here he is, Grandmaster Darren DeBon. Hey,
hello, Pstock. How you doing?
Hey, it's popping. It's popping, man. Yeah. Great show tonight.
Yeah. What a great show, huh? GM Ron Van Clief, actor, stunt man, you name it, and competed all the way into his 50s and I believe in the 60s too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What a man, you know. Yes, what a fine martial artist. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say other than it's an honor to have him, you know, on iHipHopTV, Address the Culture. Great it's going to be really great listening to his history, his story, you know.
Yes.
It's such a big life in former military too, I believe, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, it's an honor to have him on this show, you know. Great honor to have him on this show.
Yeah, it is, you know, and like I said, coming up, you know, and I kept hearing his name, Ron Van Clief, come up, and I was getting over excited. I was like, man, that takes me back to the day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, with the real martial arts, you know, and I mean, back to the day, you know, for the younger viewers, back to the day ain't that long ago. You're talking about, you know, the 2000s still, you know. So I mean, and that's big and it's good, and we like to bring this to the culture and address the culture, and just like what you do with your great grandmasters. Skills and the Angel Cabales and the Eskrima, Strada Eskrima, you know, to keep these legacies going on.
Most definitely.
And to document them, you know. Yeah. And big shout out to Aladdin 19 as well.
Big shout out, brother Aladdin 19, and hopefully Tone Big Wall could jump in here too.
Yes,
but
sir.
Yeah, I'm excited, you know.
Yeah, it's great, you know, and to have these type of actions. That's what I'm saying, you know. I feel like it's almost like Christmas, you know, and it always seems that way with, you know, we have, you know, people on, you know, that are great, and they're all great, and they represent their arts, you know, well, you know, and these are great shows, you know. So definitely comment, subscribe, tap in, you know, follow our guests. If you don't know who Ron Van Clief is, you're gonna know tonight. But definitely follow and check him out. You know, very, very, very great career and still going. You know, so we're gonna take a break real quick. We're gonna tap out there, and then we're gonna bring in Ron Van Clief. You know, it's like let's make it happen.
Hi, I'm Shihan van Clief. This is my book, The Hanged Man. I was lynched by the Ku Klux Klan in 1963 in Kingston, North Carolina. This is my story.
All right, and we are back, and we have Grandmaster Shihan van Clief in the house. Welcome to Address the Culture, sir. I mean,
Thank you so much.
It's an honor and a privilege.
Welcome.
And for our viewers, this is going to be a treat because, your history in the martial arts and the culture, because the time at which you were winning world champions and you were building your reputation and your art up, it was the time of civil rights struggle and wars and everything else. So the times is kind of maybe back to full circle because today we have the same thing going on, wars and civil rights struggle. So, but we're here today. So, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here to address the culture. And,
My honor to be here.
And it's great. So I want to top it because we've had the shows, we've had the BKF, and, we spoke with Casey Jones and Samuel Pace, and Lil Alameen, and, some great martial artists. And they all mentioned somebody that I know that was your teacher, one of your teachers, Master Moses Powell.
My first teacher?
Yeah, first teacher. Go into a little bit about how that began. How did you wind up in that school that led on to and helped shape you?
I started jiu-jitsu training with Moses Powell in 1959 in Brooklyn, New York, at the St. John's Community Center. Grandmaster Ronald Duncan was also teaching there. Teaching jiu-jitsu. So I actually had the opportunity to study with both of them until I went into the Marine Corps in 1960. So it was a great experience for me because I was only 16 when I met them. And I went in the Marine Corps at 17. I signed myself in. And by the time my family knew where I was in boot camp in Paris Island. So,
thank you for your service as well, too.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for your service.
I was in the Marine Corps in 1960, and I got my honorable discharge in 1966. My active duty time ended in 1965 when I came back from Vietnam, and I became a New York City policeman from 1965 to 1969. I was with the Negro Ensemble Company at the time, learning how to be a thespian, a theater actor.
Yes.
I came up with Moses Gunn, Robert Hooks.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Steve Carter. So many of the legends in the theater.
Yes.
It was a wonderful, wonderful experience in the Negro Ensemble Company. It allowed me to form what I call the Shihan van Clief Company at that time. So we did martial arts sequences like live movies, but on stage with sound effects and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty interesting, Douglas Turner Ward was my mentor. So many great actors, Raymond St. Jacques, so many great actors went through. It was amazing, And from the Negro Ensemble Company, I met so many actors, and I decided that I was interested in it. And I joined the Screen Actors Guild, worked as an extra for many years. My first gig really was a stunt driver, car driver, in a show called Kojak. I met
Kojak.
And
yes.
It was a wonderful experience to start in the business.
Yes.
His brother George was so kind and so generous. They really helped me to understand the business. I had just gotten out of the Marine Corps. I was a policeman, and so I was wanting to change I didn't enjoy being a policeman in New York.
I was going to ask you that because you only spent 4 years.
Yeah,
Like
there
4 or 5
was a
years.
lot of racism
Yeah.
in the police department.
Right.
You know, I was lynched in 1963 in Kingston, North Carolina.
You was lynched.
I was lynched. I spent 3 months in the hospital. They knocked out 10 of my teeth. They broke my jaw, broke my nose, crushed my eye socket, broke 6 ribs, broke my arm, and broke my leg while I was serving as a Marine because I did not want to go to the back of a bus. As a black in uniform. I was at Camp Lejeune. I was going home for the weekend. You know how you go up to the circle to ride up? They got me.
Wow.
So
in uniform.
In uniform. So I mean, I was really hurt physically, you know, and no one knew where I was. So the Marine Corps had given me AWOL.
Oh, yeah.
Had the MPs and everybody looking for me to give me a court martial and everything. And I was in the hospital with my jaw wired and my eye
couldn't talk.
It was something, you know.
And this was before you, after Vietnam or before?
Before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was, I mean, that's what made me write my book in 2011, The Hank Man, My Life Story, starting out with that experience.
Yeah. So how has that, even though you achieved a whole lot, how was that experience a part of shaping the way you want to go from that point on?
Well, it definitely changed my attitude towards the world. I was a young kid that knew nothing other than drawing, illustration, artwork, and martial arts. I didn't know anything. My father was a merchant marine. I didn't know at that point, but he had PTSD, combat fatigue, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
He had been torpedoed in the war a couple of times, and he saw a couple of hundred of his friends die in the water from sharks. Yeah. So my father lived through that. He came home. He was very isolated from us. He was a heroin addict. So I left home early because my father was very abusive. And I only had a brother, and he was killed in Vietnam in 1966 when he was 22, my brother Pete. So the military changed my whole life because I didn't have any experience with the world. Brooklyn kid, boys' high school.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything, but to undergo something like that at such a young age, then going to Vietnam, and I'm in an M60 machine gun. Here I am shooting people, and I have suffered from PTSD from that point on, my whole life. I wound up going in the hospital in 2011 to be treated. I went into a combat PTSD program in Lyons, New Jersey, at the VA hospital. Spent 4 months there, in residence. And it gave me a chance to start to focus on me versus all the other shit that was in my head,
Yeah.
And, PTSD is something that you look okay, but you're not okay. Everything you look at or think about or hear is a different reflection of life.
Yes.
And when I came back from Vietnam, if I would even hear somebody speaking Vietnamese or something, I would start to shake and get all kinds of stuff happening. So PTSD isn't something that you're going to get rid of. You just have to learn how to cope with it, and that's what they did. They taught me ways to cope with it, And the martial arts has been a great therapy for me to keep me aware of myself, to center myself, That's probably why I was okay at the martial arts, because I felt as though it was the only area that I could do the best that I could, and I was never going to let anybody beat me up again. So it only fortified my martial arts experience.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So when you built all that and based off of that, whenever you went, at what point did you take your martial arts where you said, I'm going to go international and I'm going for all the belts?
I won my first world championship in 1965.
Wow. Wow.
In Japan, actually. And I fought all over Japan, Hong Kong, Philippines, Korea. I've had quite an extensive career in martial arts competition. I started out in karate, points, tournaments, then full contact, then kickboxing, then Muay Thai, then MMA, and
Wow.
BJJ. You know, so it's a complete. I made the complete circle. I started with jiu-jitsu with Moses Powell, and I'm finishing up with Carlson Gracie. It's a different concept of jiu-jitsu, but it's a similar field. Most of the work is done on the ground in BJJ, but I had to learn traditional jiu-jitsu, and of course that's swallow locks and all that stuff, throws and this and that and all that other stuff. But I'm really, really enjoying Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I get a chance to roll with guys most of the time 40, 50 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And they're good. They're so fucking good. Excuse my French. They're so good. They're so talented. And it's not that they're aggressive or I get hurt at every class. I mean, that's like a normal. I'm going to be 80 years old.
Yeah.
In 5 months.
Wow.
I go 2-3 days a week. And it's rough when you have to do, normally I do 3 to 5 5-minute rounds per night. Sometimes I do 4 or 5 rounds in a night. But I'm always holding onto the banister walking down the stairs, because if I don't, I'm going to fall down and kill myself because I got nothing left. I leave all of it on the mat. You know, I leave all of it on the mat. I started competing in jiu-jitsu when I was 73. I started competing in jiu-jitsu at 73.
Wow.
Those guys were in the white belt division. They were killing.
Oh, wow. And
no
it's probably going hard.
That's something else, man.
Yeah, because you had a name.
You know, no one's near your age. Everyone's 20 years old in the dojo. In martial arts school, everybody's 20, between 20 and almost 30, except for Helson. And Helson's 10 years younger than me. I'm 79. He's 69. But he's amazing. I watch him roll, and he's probably maybe 140 pounds. He just goes through the guys like nothing. It's so beautiful to watch someone that has that expertise. You know, I mean, he's amazing. You know, he tells me, "Are you using too much strength? Take your time, relax." I had 5 ribs broken 6 years ago. I was rolling with a 6'8", 320-pound purple belt.
Wow.
This guy smashed me. 5 broken ribs. I bit through my tongue. I had 4 stitches on the top and 3 on the bottom. I bit through my tongue. So that was my first big injury from jiu-jitsu. I was out for almost a year, where I couldn't even touch my ribs. You know what I mean? You know, 5 ribs when they're broken, you can't breathe properly.
You can't breathe.
Yeah.
You bend over, you're hurting. Really, it was really bad. It was really bad. But you know, I came out of it, and when I got myself a silver medal at the Worlds, you know what I mean? 2 years ago, I fought. I was 77. 2 years ago, I fought at the Worlds. I lost my second match, and I lost my second match to the guy that won the whole division. So it was like, yay! Yeah. He didn't submit me. He beat me on points. You know.
Okay.
So it was. I love the BJJ. I really do. I'm more enthusiastic about this than I ever was about the karate and the kung fu.
Wow.
Maybe because I'm older and I appreciate it. You know, when I was young, I just did it. You know, just getting a man to spar with this one. It didn't matter. Now, it's the highlight of my day to go to the dojo. You know, it's the highlight of my day to go to the dojo. And these guys are so good. They're so good.
Great.
And, you know, I'm in line for purple belt. I'm going to test probably within the next 6 months. And I don't feel ready. I thought I was a terrible purple belt, but, you know, you get stripes in between the belts, right? I have my 4th stripe on my purple belt, and I've been purple belt 2 years now. So it took me 5 years as a white belt, 3 years as a blue belt, and the rest of the time to make purple. And I made purple 3 years ago. So it's been, you know, it's a grind. It's a grind, but it's amazing. It's so beautiful. I'm depressed because I never see anyone my age on the mat.
Oh, yeah.
The oldest I've seen on the mat was 60, other than Helsa Gracie, you know, the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Other than him, I've only seen one person anywhere near my age. And it's depressing because you would think that there would be more people older that would do it because they realize the value of it. You know what I mean? It's important to keep active. If you don't, you just become a fat piece of junk. You know what I mean? And then your bones hurt, I have arthritis, all the stuff. I had surgery in my eye. I was sparring with Billy Blanks maybe 15 years ago. You know, you drop your hand for a second, not thinking. He kicked my hand, my thumb went in my eye came out of socket, fell into my hand. I'm on my hands and knees in his dojo, holding my eye, blood dripping through my fingers. Stupid me, I'm trying to push my eye back in. Crazy, right?
Wow.
I wound up having to go in the hospital and all that kind of stuff and had surgery, yada, 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 yada. 15 years later, I have cataract surgery. The doctor looks in my eye and says, you have a lot of damage in your eye. And so my eye rejected the implant. I developed a condition called the, well, I can't think of the name of it right now. It affected my eye. It rejected the implant. I wound up getting shots in my eyeball for about a year. 3 shots, 2 shots, one in the eyeball, man.
Yeah.
They started putting pellets of medicine in my eyeball, pellets, you know, like a rice pellet.
Yeah, like a rice.
In my eye with medicine that would last for 6 months. So I'm just finishing that last treatment on this eye. So, and I'm still competing. So I wear these goggles now.
Yeah, protect your eyes. Yes.
I can't take another hit.
No.
You know, I will be blind. The doctor said, yeah, you will definitely be blind if you get into that. But I put my goggles on and I go for it. Mouthpiece goggles. I'm not going to bite through my tongue anymore.
Wow. Wow.
Get the art of a tiger, you know, to everything you've been through physically.
You can't stop.
Keep going.
Be 500 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have a heart attack tying my shoe. You know what I mean? Really. So I've been very fortunate that I don't have more wrong with me than I do. You know, normally by 80 years old, crutches, wheelchair, heart attacks. All my friends have had strokes and heart attacks. All my friends. You know? And so many have died within the past 6 years. I had 12 of my friends die last year. 12 guys I came up with. I mean, they're a couple of years younger than me. Gone. Heart attack, strokes. My best friend, Felipe Luciano, just had a quadruple bypass. What am I still doing here? I've been shot, stabbed, and all those other things, but no heart attacks yet, no strokes yet.
Yeah. It's the lifestyles, maybe, or your friends that train.
I'm a fitness nut.
Yeah.
I'm a fitness nut. I get up, I do my push-ups, my crunches, my stuff every day. I've done that for 50 years. I get up, I just do 100 push-ups.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Do my mountain climbers, 35 pull-ups.
Yeah.
So for my age, I'm okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm okay.
So you don't have to worry about that. But in your shape you are, that keeps you active in your other career, in the movies and
I'm doing a film next month with Michael Jai White and Time Out. It's called Make a Difference. It's like a Boys in the Hood thing, but without the gangs. It's martial arts gangs. I'm playing Moses Powell, my first teacher, in this movie. So I'm completely shocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Michael Jai White called me and he says, I got a part for you, I said, okay, send me the script, I'll look at it. And I said, well, who is this? He says, it's Moses Powell. I said, I'm doing it.
Who better to do it? That was your
fantastic.
I don't know about that. I tell you, in truth, Little John brought me to Moses Powell. Little John Davis brought me to Moses Powell when I was young. And so in my mindset, I would think that Little John would be a better person for that role. Even though he's not an actor, or, I just feel that being like the number one student of Moses, that he deserves to do that. He also was Michael Jai White's teacher. I don't know if you guys knew that.
No.
Little John Davis was Michael Jai White's teacher. And so I recently bestowed the title of the Black Dragon to Michael to continue my legacy, because he's an amazing martial artist. I don't know if you guys really know Michael. Michael is a real martial artist. He's no joke. He's got a black belt in like 6 or 7 different martial arts. He got his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from the Machados. Real serious. That's like real serious. So we're going to do this film with Timak and Michael and myself. Timak gets killed, and then I'm training both of them in the movie. And then Michael kills all the bad guys, and that's it. So,
see, Michael. Yeah, you're right. Michael Jai White. I've been following him too, and he's a great actor as well. He's not stuck to the action role stereotype. He transcends the other roles as well. Yeah.
Did you see him playing Mike Tyson?
Did I see him playing Mike Tyson? No, I didn't see that.
You have got to see that Mike Tyson story. Awesome. I didn't really appreciate his acting until that role. Wow. And his wife is one hell of a martial artist and actress.
So it's in the family. They bring the family, and you have to figure, that's great. That's really great to have that, and for him to be the student of one of the guys that you came up with that took you to your first instructor.
Can you imagine?
So that's like you seeing the whole evolution of the tree.
I mean, I would even give up my part in this movie if Little John would take it. I would. Just because of my respect for Little John. I mean,
that's huge.
I love the idea of playing my teacher and another film and things, but John hasn't done stuff like that, and I think it would be good for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll probably work on the film in some capacity, I would think.
Oh yeah. He's probably consultant.
Then I have another film in the works with Steven Seagal, and we're supposed to shoot that next summer. So this is one of those trafficking movies. I did one 2 years ago called Snow Black. It's on Tubi and all of those streaming services.
Yes,
Snow Black. It's a trafficking movie where this woman gets trafficked and they kill her daughter or sister, and she has to go on a revenge thing. So I love these films where the women go out and kill everybody.
You like that? They take the revenge out. That's big. That's big.
And so I'm playing her father. They even kill me.
Wow.
They stab me to death. There's so much happening now. There's so much happening,
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get back to writing again. I just finished my motivational book. It's called Sentences, sentence with a Z. Sentences. It's the Tao of the Black Dragon, and it's actually the layman's guide to Zen psychotherapy. So what I'm trying to do is give people a way of looking at martial arts through a therapeutical viewpoint, in that the ideologies and the physiologies of martial arts can be used to develop your persona, to develop your way of looking at the world, because martial arts is really a microcosm of the world. The good shit, the bad shit, you select what you want and you just keep going. But I don't want to get off the subject. I'm sorry.
That's real big. Hey, no worries. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. And I want to get into that because you spurred something about the martial arts as something. It's something I mentioned to some of our other guests, and I'm dying to hear what you would like to say about that.
Sure.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with Ron Van Clief, y'all.
Greetings. I am the Hammer, a.k.a. Fred Williamson. I'm here to let you know that I am proud and honored to stand alongside all the inductees into the 2021 Ultimate Warrior Hall of Fame. You have discovered that hard work and dedication brings success. Congratulations to all of you. And may we all continue to be successful in all our challenges. Semper Fi.
I am Kamal Chukwanika, and I would like to thank Shidoshi Ron Van Clief and Grandmaster Aldo Calkis, two living legends, for my nomination and induction into the Ultimate Warriors Hall of Fame for 2022. I am honored and humbled to be amongst other great martial artists receiving this prestigious award. Once again, thank you very much.
Hi, this is Michael J. White, and I am honored to be inducted into the Ultimate Warrior Hall of Fame by two such legends as Grandmaster Al Dacascos and Grandmaster Ron Van Clief. Grandmaster Dacascos has dedicated his entire life to the martial arts, as well as Grandmaster Ron Van Clief, who's not only dedicated his life, but has dedicated his name to me, Michael, the Black Dragon, Jai White. And I wear that with a great deal of honor and pride. Us.
GM Ron Van Clief is an inspiration, for a lot of us.
Yes.
Do what you are doing. You do what you can do today at your age. That's inspiring. Very inspiring.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah. I know many that have stopped.
Yeah. Now, GM Ron, question.
This Ron, please. Come
okay.
On.
Okay. Ron, the weather in Hawaii, the humidity factor, do you feel that has helped you?
Oh, yeah.
Has it helped you?
Yeah.
The humidity?
Every time I go on vacation, I feel that way. How come I feel so much better over here?
It's funny because it's the reverse for us. It's real humid here in the summer.
Yes.
I mean, extremely humid. It could be 70 degrees and feel like 90.
Yeah.
And you're sweating. So the dry heat feels better to me, when it's dry.
I like the sweat. I go to the dojo because that's what I like.
But dude, the sweat. Yeah. So
truthfully, if you don't sweat, you didn't work out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta sweat.
Do you do a lot of water, swimming in the ocean, or
days a week? I swam 2.5 miles. I swam 2.5 miles every morning for 9 years.
Beautiful.
Wow. Okay.
Every
Yeah.
morning.
In the ocean.
And then I had a shoulder replacement.
Okay.
And so I don't swim as long a distance these days, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do laps of the beach, you know.
Yeah.
At least twice a week.
Yeah. But you know, Hawaii's water, you know, the warmth, how warm it is, you know, it just, you love it. You love it, man.
Hawaii. And the martial arts. Hawaii is home to a lot of different martial
There are
arts.
so many
martial arts
jiu-jitsu
groups.
schools.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. You know, it's amazing. I go to the beach and I see guys, they bring their mats out to the beach and we roll on the beach. All right.
The parks. We hear about the parks, the notorious parks.
Yes.
You don't want to wind up in the wrong one, the wrong set.
You know, I was a fitness trainer and a celebrity bodyguard for many years. I worked with Richard Pryor, you know, worked for George Benson,
George.
Jennifer Lopez, Gregory Peck, a lot of the old stars. I worked at a place called the Radu's Physical Culture Center in New York City. I was there about 10 years. And I trained Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, all of the stars, Brooke Shields. I did that for 10 years. I even trained Donald Trump's wife, Marla, for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And those boys when they were young.
Oh.
And they were always late.
Mm.
Late to show up for the class and late to pay. Always.
Late.
Always, guys.
Wow.
Sometimes, yeah. Always.
Always late to pay.
Always late.
It was 20 minutes ahead for 8 years that I trained her. And she made purple belt with me in Goju. She was really good.
Who was that?
Cindy Crawford.
Oh, Cindy Crawford.
Cindy Crawford.
Wow. Yeah.
I trained Bianca Jagger for about 5 years. You know?
Wow.
Mm.
So there were a lot of stars that went through there. Interesting days, you know. Then I started bodyguarding Richard Pryor. Then I worked for Eddie Murphy for a while. And just, you know.
Get the mix up, mix it up a little bit.
I enjoyed working for George Benson. We did like 4 or 5 world tours together, you know.
He's a homeboy. He's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was just here. 2 years ago.
I thought he was living in Hawaii now.
No, he sold his house in Maui. He's in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he went to high school.
Very good karate man and aikido man. Very good. I trained him personally for over 6 years. Yeah.
Georgie B. I heard about that. He did stuff.
Good guy. Really kind man. Jehovah's Witness. I used to go door to door with him to do his thing, you know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, when you, this may not sound right, but when you're filthy rich and you believe in something like that, that says something. You know, that means he really does believe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not fake. A lot of poor people, God this, whatever. He believes, and he's been so helpful to so many people, including myself, throughout my life. You know, what a wonderful man. That's all I can say. A wonderful man. And Richard Pryor was a wonderful man. People don't even know. Richard was a wonderful man. Crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Wonderful guy. Generous, kind, shy. Very shy.
I believe it. A lot of comics are.
Watching his stand-up, you would not think he was a shy person. For somebody that could capture an audience like he did.
He grew up,
you know.
You know.
Yeah.
His mother was a madam. I mean, he sings a lot of stuff. Yeah. When I was young, I had no concept of drugs until I went in the military. You know, I really didn't. I saw guys drinking all the time. But my father was a heroin addict. I remember when I was maybe 10, 11 years old, my father fell asleep on a radiator and burnt his whole arm and back. You know, radiators, those old radiators?
Yeah, they're hot.
My brother and I pulled him off it, and the skin came off with it. He didn't even know anything happened. It didn't even, I mean, I'm talking about a patch a foot long and 10 inches wide.
Wow.
Blood was pouring out. He didn't say one word. He just nodded back out. It's like, wow. My father didn't want me to go in the military. When I came home from boot camp, I came in the house and my mother was making some food. He came up to me and punched me in the face, knocked me the fuck out. That was my present of getting to boot camp. In my dress blues, in my mother's kitchen.
Wow.
Out cold.
Ron, your life should be a movie, a story. You know, you got to lay that out.
I produced my documentary film, The Hangman, a couple of years ago, and it's just now, I finally got distribution. And, you know, guys, give me a mailing address. I'll send you guys the DVDs.
Yes, sir. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Presently, I just have a script finished, and I'm talking with Will Smith about producing the feature film of my life story. So it's going to happen. It took 10 years to do the documentary. You know?
Yeah, documentary.
I wrote the book in 2011. Look how long it took someone to even produce it as a documentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the BBC did my life story as a documentary about 15 years ago. That's this. I don't know if you can see it. It's the Black
Dragon. Yeah.
I just got a copy of it just like a week ago.
Wow. I was reading the Black Dragon, and you said you passed that man along to Michael J. White.
Yes,
that's
I did.
Huge, because that Black Dragon, that's a huge brand that came back to the day. And that's what I wanted to touch on when you had mentioned about the martial arts and people staying into it, and with the youth. And we talked about that. I think you would be a perfect spokesperson for that too, nationally, for people to incorporate martial arts into youth activities and more.
I've taught in over 30 public schools.
Okay, wow.
I lived in St. Thomas before I moved here to Hawaii. I was in St. Thomas 10 years, and I taught at 5 schools, 5 public schools. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours in the 5 schools every week for 6 years. I had about 700 students, and maybe 100 made black belt.
That's great.
It is. That's fantastic.
Sometimes they contact me, people I trained 20 years ago. You know, I just retired from the Army. This was a little kid, you know. So it's amazing what the study of martial arts can really do. If you, I mean, you don't have to be a competitor. You don't. Just go and train and make yourself better. I look at martial arts being a way of making yourself better in every way, every day.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I see. And it doesn't matter. There's no good style or bad style. Everybody picks something that they gravitate from, what they feel, what they hear, what they see, and that's what they do. There's no all-encompassing style. There's no magic one style that fits every case. You know, I did martial arts for over 50 years, and then I realized that I had no ground game. Wowee. And it took the experience of me fighting Hoist at UFC 4, December 16th, 1994. Took 4 minutes. He choked me out. Actually, didn't finish the joke, but I tapped, you know, and it gave me the opportunity to start to reevaluate my training. I don't believe that BJJ or jiu-jitsu or anything is a cure-all, but I believe that every person that studies martial arts should have a ground game. That has to be part of your study.
Your whole
Has to be. How can you be, I just stand up for 60 years before I even thought about anything. When I fought Hoist, I sometimes think that because I broke my ankle 1 week before I fought Hoist, that it had an effect on my performance and all that kind of stuff. But that's bullshit. Even if I was at my best, I wouldn't have beat Hoist then at that game. Their game is close the gap, take whatever abuse it is to close, get the clinch, take you down, boom. Once you go to the ground, any of the jiu-jitsu forms will take you. Really. So it was a really good experience for me in that I threw a kick, he blocked it, my ankle that I was supporting on collapsed, and he took me down, and we continued from there. But it was a great, wonderful. I wouldn't trade it for $1 million. That's how great the experience was. And for them to select me to be the commissioner after that was a dream. A dream.
Yeah.
That is.
I got a chance to write all the rules. I went to court for the UFC. I went in front of Senator Kane.
Yeah.
Okay, he called me a bulldog, an animal, just so much. But it gave me the UFC gave me the opportunity to experiment in as far as making the show more telegenic. It was a little too pure at the time. No rules, no eyes, this, and balls, everything. So I created all the basic rules, and I made it more what I would say is telegenic. In that they could get the pay-per-view monies, And it started to look like WWF. That's when I left. It was pure. They started creating these fights with mismatches. It's almost like knowing the winner ahead of time, that kind of stuff. And it just didn't sit right with me, And I just walked in one day and I resigned. It was no big deal. To me, it was just it was a great job. The money was fucking great, but I didn't want to be thought of as fake. Because initially they thought the UFC was fake, It was never fake. It might have been engineered, some things, but it was never fake. It was the real deal, the closest to the real deal that there has ever been in the sport, But no, look at it now. They sold it for $3 million. They make $1 billion a year now.
Yeah. It's multiple.
$3 million. That's all they got.
Wow, that's it.
And that show makes $1 billion a year. We're talking about net. We're not talking about gross.
Yeah.
We're talking about net.
Wow.
Dana White gets a $10 million salary.
A lot of cheddar. Yeah.
That's a lot of cheddar, brother.
Yeah, it's a lot of cheddar. It's a lot of cheddar.
I may be going to work with Bellator as a commentator. I'm not sure. It's been suggested. Let's see what happens. I don't know if I want to do that stuff anymore. I now want to concentrate on training myself and eventually making black belt. Helson told me 2 months ago. He says it's going to be at least another 5 years before you make black belt. So I'm on that course now.
Yeah.
I just want to keep getting better, because inevitably, I want to teach the kids BJJ.
Yeah.
And along with that, I'd like to give them some of my experience with the striking parts, because that's what I think is missing in a lot of the BJJ schools. Some have strikes, some don't. But I think that just like groundwork was necessary for me, I think striking is necessary for them.
Necessary for them too.
That's only my opinion. I always get blasted for it, but that's how I feel.
Make your system
balances it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Elio said to me, punching is crude, very primitive. So that shows you where the mentality is. You know?
That is. Who was the most difficult student you had? You know, celebrity or, you know, who was the most difficult student? Besides the late Trump.
Frankie Crocker. Do you remember Frankie Crocker? He was a DJ in the 60s and 70s in New York City. The guy that started, 108.3 or something. He started his own brand of bringing songs to light that people never heard before. Frankie was the Dick Clark of R&B. An amazing guy, but he studied with me. He enjoyed weapons, so we did knives, sword, and chaku, you know, spear, bows. He's everything. He became a really good weapons technician.
Wow,
really good. But he passed away, and I think 1998. Pancreatic cancer. But he was always late.
Always late too.
We were friends. You know, not just, he wasn't my client like Marla was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were friends, and we used to hang out at Leviticus, the clubs in New York, and the Dome, the Electric Circus, and you know, we used to do acid together and stuff. You know, those were days when it was all sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know, I hung out with Mick Jagger for a lot of years. Richie Havens was another one of my students who excelled. He was such a great musician and singer. So I worked for James Brown and Wilson Pickett. I've been on the road with those guys.
Wow, yeah.
Cool.
So you're exposed to the women, the drugs, the parties.
Oh my goodness.
I bet you got some stories that you don't want to put out there right now.
Unbelievable, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I lived in LA for about 10 years, you know, but I just got tired of having to drive every place.
Oh, yeah.
I just got tired. I was working for Eddie Murphy at the time. And just one day I just said, you know what? I'm going back to the East Coast. I'm tired of driving all the time.
Traffic.
And the West Coast martial arts scene is different than on the East Coast. East Coast is a little more grungy and a little more, I think, serious. The Hollywood thing, everybody's the best. You know, there's a grandmaster on every corner. You know what I mean? Have you met Stephen Muhammad? Oh, Steve Muhammad beat me one time. He beat me at the International Championship in Long Beach, California, at Parker's tournament.
Wow.
But he and I went to Panama together maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I said, do you remember when he beat me at the International? He said, no, I don't remember. Why would you remember? He beat like 8 guys in a row.
He was beating guys. Wow.
What a wonderful man. And even Bruce told me, he's the fastest hands he's ever seen. Bruce started training me in Jeet Kune Do and Wing Chun. He's the one that introduced me to Leon Tang and Seto Kwak and all these great Wing Chun masters, you know. And so Wing Chun really helped me in my 60 years of competition because it allowed me to block and counter at the same time, and I had really good reflexes. I mean, it's something that is really good for tournament You know, boom, you're done. It's over. You know.
So you're saying Bruce Lee ain't want no smoke with Stephen Muhammad? Huh?
Oh, he beat me with 3 groin kicks.
Oh, 3 groin kicks.
Every time I see him, I tell him, we both laugh. We laugh like fools. You know? I don't remember. I said, I know you don't remember. I was just another bum that you beat in eliminations.
Now that's huge.
He's an amazing, amazing man. Steve Muhammad is an amazing. He's one of those giants. You know, he's one of those giants. You know, there are lots of good guys, but there are a few giants. You know, like Tayari Cassell, Victor Moore. There's a bunch of them that they have so much experience, so much. You know, guys like Victor Moore, they beat up Joe Louis, they beat up Chuck Norris, they beat all of these guys. You know what I mean? Serious.
Mm.
You know,
beat him up in competitions or just because they could beat him up? Okay.
And Bill Wallace. I mean, Victor Moore beat everybody.
Nah.
Yeah. I had a semi beef with him not too long ago because he produced a film and his life story, and in it says he's beat all the so-called movie star martial artists, yada yada yada, and the last name on the list of who we beat was my name, but we never fought.
Oh yeah, he put you on there, but you never fought. Oh.
So I mean, I laugh about it. He said it was his director or something. Who really cares, you know?
Yeah.
He was great, and he's someone that I look up to, you know. And so what, you know? I've been to tournaments, watching tournaments, and people start saying, "Oh yeah, I beat Van Clief. He's bullshit. He's just in the movie." And I never say who I am. I just listen to them. Yeah, terrible. What a piece of shit he is.
They don't know.
But it's amazing, you know, that people will talk shit.
Yeah.
For no reason. Oh, I'm a grandmaster just like him. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. The martial arts has changed so much from the 50s to now.
Mm-hmm.
To see a black belt was a rarity then. Mm-hmm. Now, you got 14-year-old kids wearing black belts with stripes on them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, come on, guys. You know?
Yeah.
It's depressing to see what has happened.
Commercialization part of it.
There's so many great supreme grandmasters. That's why when someone says GM or grandmaster to me, I almost get a fucking earache because I can't adhere to someone relating to me that way. I've never called myself a grandmaster. I'll never be. Let's take one of my teachers, Moses Powell. I'll never be a pimple on his ass. You understand? Peter Urban, same thing. So I believe, this is my personal opinion only, guys, that the term grandmaster is a misnomer. It's used so much that it's almost nothing. You know?
Yes.
I got you. They took the value out of it with the commercialization.
Yeah. You know. I went to a tournament, and I don't go to tournaments often anymore. I went to one about 8 years ago in New Jersey, and there was a guy. He was a 10th degree red belt. You know what a 10th degree red belt is? That's like a supreme grandmaster. He was 20 years old, man. Said,
impossible.
And he said to me, "I'm a grandmaster just like you." I said, "Okay, what can you say?" Nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say.
That's like our friend Aladdin 19. He was a master before 21. I think he was one of the first who became a master before 21.
Yeah. You know, I can see a master. You know, Bruce Lee was a master, and he didn't train for that long. You guys know that? He really didn't. The period of time that he trained wasn't that long. He didn't train with Yip Man for very long at all. So his experience really came from when he came to America. He started mixing the different things that he saw. I trained with Bruce maybe a half a dozen times. Really talented, really philosophical, great guy. He always had the best weed. Always. When he gave me the name the Black Dragon, this is like 1969, 68. I lost a championship in New York at the All American, and Bruce was sitting ringside. And he says, "You're the Black Dragon." I said, "What? I just got my ass handed to me by Joe Hayes." Right? He says, "No. You are the Black Dragon, man. I watched you fight 6 fights in a row. You beat everybody." Yeah, but I lost to. He said, "But that doesn't mean anything. You've shown this, and that is that." So amazing. So that's 1966, 67. In 1974, I made my first film, The Black Dragon. So I said, "Damn, Bruce, you're fucking right." You know what I mean? Wow.
He do right on the money.
And what a cool guy. I mean, after the tournament, we went back to his hotel in New York. We hung out, we smoked, we talked shit until 4 o'clock in the morning. Really, really down to earth guy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of people are like who you think are really great in the martial arts aren't nice people.
Right.
Give
us an example of one. Let's throw one out there. So okay. Darren might know him.
I auditioned for a film called The Black Samurai.
Okay.
Eventually, Jim Kelly did the film, but I was the one that was selected for it, and I read the script and I did all this stuff, and I realized that it was a shit production. It was like a very low budget kind of thing, and I decided I didn't want to do it.
B movie, huh?
Yeah, well, C movie. Let's say C.
C.
and so Jim did it, The Black Samurai, and it's so bad. It is so bad because a 12-year-old kid wrote the script. The producer's son wrote the script.
Wow.
That's old Hollywood, right? Back then.
My wife and I just watched that on television the other day on Tubi or one of those streaming services.
Yeah.
The stories, the Black Samurai books, Mark Olden wrote them. It's the series of books. They were really good, like a Black James Bond.
Right.
Really good stuff. If you get a chance to look them up, the Black Samurai series, really good. They chose one of the books, and it was subtitled The Warlock. A lot of mumbo jumbo, voodoo, bullshit. It was shot in either Thailand or the Philippines. But you could see it was a low budget because they kept using the same stunt people all the way through the movie. 8 people here, then same 8 people here, but with different clothes, but the
same people. Yeah.
It was a low budget thing. And the guy that produced the Green Hornet series for television, Larry Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
And his son wrote the script. I bailed on it about a week before we were supposed to start shooting. I forgot what excuse I gave him, and then I said, "Well, I'll call Jim. He'll do it." And I called him. He said, "Yeah." After he did it, he called me. He says, "What a piece of shit that was." It was a payday.
Yeah.
And Jim was a really cool guy. Really, really cool guy. Very kind, generous man. And talented. Very talented, He came through Steve Muhammad's crew,
Yeah.
UKF, Yeah.
Cliff Stewart, all those guys out there. So wow. I didn't realize your strong ties and connection with Bruce Lee. and that's amazing.
A really nice, really down to earth guy. He didn't go for all of that master sequel, this, that. It was Bruce Ron. You know, regular guy. Don't hog the joint, bitch. You know?
Yeah, don't hog the joint.
Yeah. Like, okay, you know, people tend to see people like myself through a different view. They think that we're different, but we're not different. We may have some skills that you don't have, but we're not any different. We have the same emotions, the same wants, the same desire, the same everything. We're all the same. We really are.
Like you said, got the different skills that
Yeah,
separate.
well, I just have some skills.
Talent.
I've never
thought,
thought of myself as a master, grandmaster, or any such thing. I'm just a God's person that isn't going to quit. I'm going to train until I pass away. It's something I really enjoy, something that I love. It's become such an integral part of my life that I don't see that I could exist without.
And that's big.
It served its purpose. I mean, I've written 11 books. I've worked on over 100 movies. I've traveled to over 100 countries. You know, I'm married 8 times.
Married 8 times. Wow.
Like United Nations. You know what I mean? Filipino, Vietnamese, English, Romanian, Russian. You know, the whole.
You went through the whole gamut.
Yeah, the whole gamut. I mean, if you're going to go through this life, you know what? You better enjoy it.
Yeah.
You only got one ride.
You get one. Yeah.
You only get one. Yeah.
Only get one. And that's great. That's great.
I feel privileged that I've lasted this long, you know, and I still have something to say. You know, I'm shocked that people are still calling me for movies and things. I'm shocked. 80-year-old guy, man, you know, and wow.
Got talent, and people, if they keep calling you that for the movies, they know you're reliable and you're going to deliver on whatever role they put you in.
That's what it's about. That's what's track record.
Track record. That's right.
Track
record. And you can whip an ass if somebody get out of line over there.
I don't know about any of that stuff. I get my ass handed to me every night I go to jiu-jitsu. I do. I feel good because I'm able to stay with those young guys, and whether I submit them or not, it really doesn't mean anything to me anymore. What means something to me now is that when I go out, that each person gets 100%.
Yeah.
Get 100% of what I got. And I leave it, really, guys, I leave it all on the mat. Sometimes I do 4 or 5 rounds. You know, 4 or 5 5-minute rounds are like?
Oh, yeah, there's no. Yeah.
The sweat is pouring out. Yeah. I'll start to go to leave, and someone will say, "Hey, Ron, let's get one more." And I got to do it. I'm ready to pass out, but I got to do it.
It's your spirit.
Let's get it, man.
Let's get
spirit, man.
So what would you like your legacy to be whenever they look back like 10, 20 years from now?
The man that didn't quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit on yourself. You know, life is always going to have challenges. It's always going to have obstacles. It's not how hard you get hit. The point is, you got to get up and keep going.
Yep.
You have to keep going. You know?
Yes.
I've lost hundreds of matches. Hundreds. So what? You know? Yeah. When I lost to Hoist Gracie at the UFC, I took a lot of shit from a lot of people. Oh, Hoist kicked your ass, he choked you out, that. But all these busters that were talking that,
they wouldn't get on the mat with
the balls to get in the octagon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We can sit and watch the octagon and say, "Oh yeah, I could do that to this guy or this and that." How can you? That's bullshit. Yeah, all of that means nothing. When you step in the octagon yourself, then you deserve to give me your opinion of that.
Yeah.
So
Reality.
and I hear shit to this day. Oh, Hoist, they fucked you up or something or whatever. Hoist and I are the best of friends.
Yeah.
We never had any animosity. It was just business.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to make this 50,000? I got 10 grand to fight him. So what? I mean, it was no big deal. You know what I mean? It was no big deal. Everybody said, "Oh man, you lost the horse racing, your reputation, and this and that." I think my reputation took a step up because I entered the octagon and I put myself in that position to see what the fuck I was made of. Yeah. Not what Boyce was made of, not what Dan Severn was made of. Myself. You know? I mean, and that's what life is. You have to continually challenge yourself to get the best from yourself. My goal is every day to do better in every way. Every day. That's my mission. Yeah.
Great inspiration to hear that.
Great inspiration.
For everybody, though.
A better version
every
of
age.
Every day. Every day you got to work.
Every
and it's
day.
not something that you can slide on. I won't do it today. You got to work on it every single day.
That's true.
So life is on, right? Life is live.
Yeah.
You're not live. You're dead. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You're still here. Still much to live.
It's a beautiful life. No matter how bad it is, you can always, you can always have and see. I'll leave you with one thing. And probably my wife would be pissed off at me, but 6 years ago, I was sitting in a jail cell. Big time. I'm here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a hell of a mission, guys.
I said a hell of a mission.
Hell of a mission.
Wow. 6 years ago. Wow. We can survive anything if we don't give up on ourselves. Yeah. Most people will give up on you. You know, any stress, you can't give up on yourself. That's really the message that I need to give anyone. You have to keep going no matter what. Get knocked down, get up 8 times. You know?
Never stop.
Yeah, never stop.
If I wasn't so old, I'd go back to the UFC again.
So you still be doing it?
I'd still be doing it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to compete in another month or two. As soon as my back heals. I plan to compete at least for the next 5 or 6 years until I make black belt, and I need to compete at least once as a black belt in Helsinki Basic Jiu-Jitsu. I need to compete at least once, and then I can retire. I retired when I was 60 years old from karate competition. I had won the All-American Championship 15 times, you know, and to win it at 60, wow, that's in form and fighting, you know. And so I said after that, I'm tired of getting punched and kicked and all this stuff. So I'm going to take something that's going to be less abrasive on my body. And I chose Helsinki Basic Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, I broke my ribs, bit through my tongue, all kinds of stuff. But there's going to be accidents, you know?
Yeah.
And if I went with my eyes open, you know, I haven't quit. That 5 ribs broken didn't make me quit, you know? So I'm going to keep going. Just like I would say, I get up every morning and I say, let's go, keep going. There is nothing else.
Yeah.
That's the mantra that I live by. Yeah. And really, thank you so much, guys. I very rarely get a chance to say what I feel and think, you know, in these interviews. Normally it's questions that
just the culture.
Yeah. You know, Ron.
You just address the culture. You know,
yeah,
that's what it's about.
Yeah, I like to say this. Ron, the world needs more Rons. Okay. This is very inspirational, you know, for
it
whoever
is.
watches this show. You're an inspiration, most definitely.
You know,
I've known of your background, you know, what you did, UFC, all of that, and I said, man, let's see if he wants to be on this show. And you came on. Well, what an honor to have you on the show. What an honor.
Big honor. We're glad. And we want you to spin the block. I'd love for you to get on with Big Wall, too, and that'll be hilarious, you know. But you are like Big Wall always says, to end all of our shows. You know, your culture makes you who you are, so make sure people respect you. And that's what you did. You came up from your story today, from the Marines to Vietnam and the lynching while you're in the Marines, to going to Vietnam, to taking it to the level. In uniform, which is really bad. It says a lot about
it. Does. It
says a lot. It says a lot. You know, and the man here, man, kudos to you. You know, give yourself a pat on the back for coming in. For coming in and being a part of the
my pleasure, guys.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.